guys, we're check out the JD Vance interview. I think it was on Hannity, right? I haven't seen this yet. Wait, this is a different one?
Congratulations.
So this one's should be kind of interesting because Hannity. So the last one that we saw with JD Vance was like a little bit more of a hostile situation. Like you had the host was kind of like more antagonistic. This one, Hannity's probably gonna grab his balls and fondle them. So it's gonna be kind of we'll get to see the other side of the coin here.
All right, has it sunk in yet? Hillbilly Elegy.
Yep.
Now the Vice President of the United States of America.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. No, it hasn't sunk in. I joke that I took 2 wrong turns and I ended up, a hallway down from the Oval Office, and it's just an incredible thing. The first time I'd ever actually been to the Oval Office was with President Trump as his vice president last Tuesday.
Never been there.
Had never been to the Oval Office.
Somebody asked, is this guy the new Tucker? No, Hannity's been around for a long time. I think he's been around for longer than Tucker, I believe, if I were to guess. His show was it before or after Tucker? I think Hannity was after Tucker. It was either Tucker, Hannity, Laura Ingraham. It was after, right? It was like, yeah, Tucker first and then Hannity and then Laura Ingraham, I think was the order.
Office. Wow. And he always talks about, you have these executives, foreign heads of state. The Oval Office just has a particular power, and I certainly felt it, and it was just amazing to stand in that room. And I remember at the time.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see like kind of the dynamic being like kind of different. You want to know something though? Might be kind of a hot take. I appreciate when the journalists are also antagonistic, like a little bit of both. I like kind of both sides of the coin. Because when the journalist is antagonistic, it's how you get the most information. So I'm actually completely fine with them being antagonistic as long as it's not like, there's like a level of like maliciousness that like is too much, basically. But you definitely want them to press them on like, you don't want them to like just suck them off the entire time, right? Like you don't want them to just like get in there and like touch their balls. You want them to ask hard questions and press them on issues. You definitely want that.
Thinking, I wish that I had something profound to say, and I just stood in there saying, wow, this is crazy. Right?
No, I had the same experience when I went in. President Bush was in office at the time, and I remember I thought.
And actually, today we're going to get to some stuff because again, Trump did something today that I disagree with, and I'm going to talk about it after this.
It was surreal. I was like, is that really him?
Yeah.
And
it was like turbo cringe.
And then, of course, Trump has his little red button, which next to him, which is not the red button.
Which he screwed with me about that, actually.
Did he really?
Yeah, no, so we're just mid-conversation. I think we were with Senator Thune and Speaker Johnson, and he has this sort of beautiful, ornate wooden box on his desk with a red button, and he presses it.
Yeah.
And he just kind of looks over at me, and I'm like, sir, is that something bad just happened?
Yeah.
And he's like, no, I just ordered a Diet Coke.
That's what it is. It's the Diet Coke.
Wait, that's true? Wait, that's true? He has a button to order a Diet Coke? That's a big red button? That's fucking hilarious. That's the most Trump thing I've ever heard. Like he has a fucking button. So it's kind of like when I yell for my mom. It's like that. But then it has a button for it. That's kind of crazy. That's wild. Diet Coke is filthy. Yeah, I don't like that. I'm not a fan of Diet Coke. That is kind of cringe, honestly.
Red button and it comes running in. Then he'll ask you, would you like one?
Yeah, but exactly. No one's perfect. No one's perfect.
I've known President Trump for over 30 years.
Sure.
Had a close relationship with him in all those years. And he and I, when he was thinking about running, we had arguments for hours deep into the night about, I said, I'm not voting for you if you're not a conservative. Mm-hmm. You really are now getting to know him very well.
Sure.
What have you learned about
I've reached 3 years.
Well, it's interesting.
Dog, thank you.
No, I've learned that he has the most interesting
much.
Decision-making process of any person I've ever met. And I think it's what makes him such an effective leader.
You want to know what my favorite thing is about the Trump administration, though? My favorite thing is that it's not politically party driven. It's like getting shit done driven. And for proof of that, all you have to know is that they have Tulsi Gabbard and RFK, and you can see like literally both sides going after them. I don't like the Republicans. I think they fucking suck half the time. So it's really great to see that like that a lot of the Trump people just want to get shit done. Has nothing to do with like what party that you're in.
that when he actually is thinking about doing something, he doesn't just ask like, his closest advisor or some policy person. He if it's going to affect a business, he'll call the business's CEOs. He'll go and try to talk to the workers. He tries to take inputs from everywhere. And I think it's one of the reasons why he's so in tune with where the American people actually are. But it's also, I think, one of the geniuses of the way that he makes decisions is that he actually tries to talk to everybody. And that's something, honestly, I could write a book just about the way that he gathers information from all sources. Wow. And it's very unusual. I mean, in Washington, most politicians, if it's a national security issue, they'll talk to their national security person and maybe, somebody else in their office. If it's a business issue, maybe they'll talk to a CEO. The president talks to everybody, and that's a very, very profound thing about the way that he actually
what's the trigger point?
Washington.
I would describe him as a force of nature, and there's nobody else like him.
Yes.
I think in many ways he's misunderstood as well, because I know the personal side of him and I know the business side of him. And as we've seen hundreds and hundreds of executive actions, and you've been here barely a little over a week now.
Yeah.
Pretty speed of light. It's speed of light.
God, guys, Yawgmoth's bargain has totally grew on me. I was so sus of him at first. I was like, man, I don't know about this guy.
We've
I'm
I think,
telling
accomplished
you, he's grown
more
on
in
me.
8 days than the entire Biden administration accomplished in 4 years. And of course, the things that we're accomplishing are actually good things, and the things they were accomplishing were mostly bad things. But the president has incredible
because of
energy.
Yawgmoth's
I mean, this is something.
No, I just love calling him Yawgmoth's bargain. It's fucking hilarious because just the hit piece on it was so ridiculous that trying to psychoanalyze him because he likes Yawgmoth's bargain it was so fucking stupid.
Accomplishing were mostly bad things, but the president has incredible energy. I mean, this is something you hear other people say about him, and it's hard to really appreciate it until you're up close and personal. I don't know how much he sleeps or if he ever really sleeps. I mean, you'll get phone calls from him.
I can answer that. Okay. He doesn't sleep a lot.
Yeah, I actually watched recently an interview from one of Trump's best friends who did a full interview about Trump, and his friend basically said yeah, that guy doesn't sleep. I don't understand. He just he barely rests. He just keeps going.
You'll get phone calls at 1 a.m. and he'll just, he'll talk about policy and he'll talk about your family. And he just, there's something incredibly energetic about him, but you sort of need that, actually. The federal government has become so sprawling. And
he sleeps 4 hours a night? Dude, what the fuck? How do you function on 4 hours? Dude, I feel at 4 hours, wouldn't your brain be fried permanently? Dude, this guy's dude, this guy's a fucking alien. What the hell?
Democracy is so unresponsive to what the president actually wants to do that you kind of need somebody in there who's constantly on. It's all gas, no
he
brakes.
He must be part
That's
elf or
what
something.
We've seen in the last, 8 days. I think that's what we'll see for the next 4 years.
When you look at, for example, the two biggest issues in this campaign, immigration and the economy.
Sure.
And because that's impacting the people in Ohio.
Of course.
Right?
Yep.
That's impacting their life hard. And
That's
a lot of Americans have been really hurt. There was a study that came out, 56% of Americans can't withstand a $1,000 emergency.
Sure.
It would be devastating for them. That scares me. I've been there. I've lived there. I know you've been there.
Of course. Yeah.
Not fun. Not where you want to be.
Not fun at all.
When I think of the issue of immigration in particular, I'm looking at, we have known terrorists in this country.
Yes,
we
we
have
do.
known cartel members, known gang members. We have known murderers, rapists, and I'm watching the reaction of the left and the left-wing media and the Democrats, and we're back to Nazi fascists, Hitler, Stalin, Mussolini, and I'm like, what part of these other people are you missing?
No, it's totally crazy, Sean. And if you look, there was a guy who went viral a few days ago that we deported, 17 violent criminal convictions, and was actually saying...
The guy from Haiti.
The guy from Haiti. Yeah. He was saying, I hate Trump, I love Biden because Biden wanted me to stay in this country. Is there a better endorsement of Donald J. Trump that a violent criminal who shouldn't be in this country doesn't like him because Donald Trump is actually enforcing the immigration laws of this country? And it's everywhere, Sean. It affects everybody from all walks of life. It's the drug epidemic. It's the crime. It's the fact that if you live along the southern border, you're affected by this cartel activity. I mean, we've seen, Sean, just in the last couple of days, multiple cartel members have fired at our own border patrol. And you ask yourself, why was that happening a couple of years ago? Because they weren't empowered to do their job. The border has become so so lawless that we're actually engaging in military-style engagements just to regain control of our southern border. And thank God we're actually doing it this time, because if we had another 4 years of Biden and the Democrats' wide open southern border, it would permanently, and I think irreparably, transform this country. So yeah, we're doing immigration enforcement in a big way. We're also doing things to lower the cost of energy. Because of course, if we can lower the cost of energy, we're going to make food and housing, groceries, everything else more affordable for American citizens. And that really is, you're exactly right. That is the two prongs of the Trump agenda. We want to create more prosperity and we want to create more security. And we're doing a lot. We're going to do a lot more.
I want to ask about the economy in a second, but we saw
Tom caring Homan. About like caring about like everyday people. That's crazy.
I don't think there's anyone more force of nature. I've tried to make him smile. I've had no luck.
Absolute
if you pull
psycho.
That off, that would be a miracle. But I've known him a long time. I have a great admiration for him.
Me too.
And almost 10,000 deportations and some of the toughest criminals. Kristi Noem out on that ICE raid in New York yesterday. She was on TV with us last night. Amazing. 10,000.
I got to answer one thing real quick, though. Talzito says all of our prices are increasing. Yeah, you know, a lot of the prices increased a lot, like during Biden, right? You know, like he was president like 4 years ago. He like became president like 4 years ago. And he's like, he was president for like 4 years. And all the things got more expensive.
In a week, the president is looking for, what, $1,800 a day?
That's right.
And, you know, that's a pretty ambitious goal.
It's ambitious, but you need a leader who sets ambitious goals and actually holds people to meeting those goals. If you think we've got 20 plus million illegal aliens in this country, we have got to get these people out of our country and regain control of our own border. And it's not just
we'll see how it is in a year. Here's what I'll have to say about it, okay? This is perfectly reasonable, all right? We'll see. We'll see in like 1 to 2 years. And if he doesn't fix things, then he didn't fix anything, and I'm against that. Then I will be right with you. I'll say, fuck him, man. Like, fuck him. Like, Trump didn't fix anything. He didn't do anything he said he was gonna do. Fuck him. If that's what happens, then yeah, fuck him. I'm not one of these party people, okay? I don't give a shit about the Democrats. I don't give a shit about the Republicans. I care about like people, things being the best for like your average person. I don't care who's in power. If the Democrats are in power and they can make everything better, then I would be for them. I just don't think that the stuff that they say, I don't think their ideology, their methods, I don't think they're effective. That's why I don't like them. Has nothing to do with me just,
Honestly,
sucking
while I
Trump
do
off
agree
or
that
whatever.
deportations have been needed, being a resident of NY and seeing the state it's in due to mass immigration, I can't help but see how aggressive ICE has been and how much innocent people are being dragged into this mass deportation. Maybe it's the
Maybe it's the right move, but we need more humane and thoughtful approach. I guess it depends what you mean by that. Thank you for the bits, Maz. I really appreciate it. When you say innocent people, like, what do you mean by that? You know what I mean? I guess we live in the world now where, like, if you say that, like, innocent people are being dragged into the mass deportation, I don't know what that means. Like, I don't know what that means anymore, because we've completely changed. Both sides don't see reality the same way, I think. Not just both sides, but just people in general don't really have the same reality anymore. We don't live in a world where when you say something, I know what you mean. So like, for instance, right? Like when you say, oh, they're innocent people, what do you mean like they didn't commit like extra crimes? I think the act of them being here illegally is already committing a crime. Therefore, they're not innocent at that point. Does that make sense? But I don't know if that's what you mean. Because if what you mean is like there's innocent people who are American citizens that are being deported, then yeah, I'm against that. Obviously, that's terrible. Like just because a person is South American, Mexican, just because their skin is brown, and we're like, yeah, they don't belong here, and then we deport them. Yeah, obviously, I'm against that. I'm like, of course, I'm against that. Thanks for the follow, Rothwell. Thank you so much. If what we mean by innocent is that they didn't commit any extra crimes other than being here illegally, then I don't agree with that. Yeah, then I don't. Trigger Point says that isn't happening. Yeah, I know. I'm just I'm reiterating my point, right? I'm trying to make it like very clear what I believe in, so like people can understand my point of view and like what I believe in, basically. Obviously, I'm not for legal immigrants, legal citizens, people who are going through the process legally. Obviously, I'm not for them getting deported. But if they came here illegally, they should get deported because they already broke our laws. They already don't respect the laws of our country.
And Michigan
they should
got
get out.
New laws where eggs can only be sold if they're from cage-free chickens. They went into
The
effect
hell?
on January 1st.
They're just causing egg prices to rise just before Trump got into office. Yeah, it's like local stuff though. I don't know if that has anything to do with Trump really. But anyway, that's my take. In fact, I'd take it a step further, and I think they should be permabanned. If they're caught here illegally, they should be permabanned from like ever applying for any sort of citizenship. Like you're just
Basically, I've been seeing a lot of documented immigrants being lumped into the deportation approach, as well as Native Americans who the ICE agents aren't confirming as to whether or not they're actually illegal or not.
Is that true? Do you have any evidence of that, Maz? Like, I'd love to look into that. If you have like a video on it, or an article or something like that, like I'd love to like actually look into like the actual cases of what happened there. Because again, if people who are here legally and they didn't go through some illegal way to get here, then I don't think that they should be deported. So, my philosophy on this is very consistent. But if you have anything on that, like I'd love to take a look at it on stream.
Look at the number of illegal entries on January the 19th, the last
big
day
if true,
of the
for
Democrats'
sure.
administration.
Obviously, I'm
I believe
against
the number
that.
was north of 1,300 illegal entries. 5 days later, we had already cut that by more than 60%, and I guarantee we're going to cut it even further.
If you need to send it to someone, either post it in the live stream chat or on Discord, on the live stream chat on Discord, or send it to Julio. That way I can see it.
Policy matters. Elections have consequences, and President Trump ran explicitly on regaining control of the border and redelivering American prosperity. That's exactly what we're doing. And it is funny, Sean, to hear the media and the Democrats howl about this and say, well, this is bad, this is terrible, this is, like you said, fascist, Nazi, blah, 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 blah. The president promised the American people he was going to do this.
Thank you again for that.
They gave him a mandate, so now he's doing it. That's how democratic politics in this country works, and thank God for that.
If I was in your position or President Trump's position, and I never will be, let's be clear, but if I was, I think what would keep me up at night is the fact that we have known terrorists in the country.
Sure.
And we have murderers in the country, and rapists, and violent criminals, cartels, and gang members, as I said. I'm worried about an attack on the homeland, Mr. Vice President. How worried are you?
Well, look, I am worried, Sean, because we were given a country with hundreds, maybe thousands, maybe more of known terrorists that are in the United States of America, thanks to the open borders of the last administration. So it's our job to worry about it so that hopefully we can prevent that attack. So it's something that does keep us up at night. It's something that the government is working on very aggressively. We've got great intelligence services. We've got great border enforcement. We're trying to identify the bad guys and get them out of our country because, look, what you don't want to have happen, Sean, is let's say we take a foreign policy action that some foreign terrorist organization doesn't like. Well, now these guys, they're not in Syria or some foreign country. They're in our backyards. They're in our cities. We have to get them out to make the homeland safer, but also to empower the president to do the things that he needs to do when it comes to national security. So it does worry me, but we also have a government that's actually tackling this issue. It's getting better every single day.
How do we find them? I mean, you have known terrorists, but you don't know where they are. Known cartel members, but you don't know where they are.
Well, it's crazy, Sean. Sometimes you're right. We don't know where they are. Sometimes we actually do. And that's one of the craziest things of the last week. Just for me, you ask what is shocking to me, it's that many of these violent criminals, we knew their addresses, we knew their names. We just needed to send somebody to go to their house and get them the hell out of the country. That really should shock the American people.
We've known where they are.
Exactly.
And we've known they've had terror ties.
We've known
that
at least that they
real?
have violent criminal backgrounds, and we haven't done anything until about 8 days ago
you'll
when
be
Donald
pleased
Trump
if
became the
749 passes. It increases punishments got repeated illegal entry.
Oh, heck yeah. I'm totally for that. I'm for anything that makes it, that de-incentivizes people from illegal activity, like crossing the border illegally.
President of the United States again. It really should shock the conscience of the American people. One of the things you heard on the campaign trail, one of the criticisms of me and of the president was, well, yes, we have 20 million illegal aliens. We have, close to 1 million violent criminal illegal aliens, and we don't know where they are. It turns out we actually do know where a lot of them are. We just haven't had immigration enforcement, and that's what's...
Dude, that's so crazy if that's true. What do we know? Like, is this true? What he's saying, or is he bullshitting? 1 million people, a million violent illegal immigrants. That's crazy. That's a lot. What the hell?
Changed so radically.
That actually gives me hope that we can protect the homeland, because I would imagine if you're a terrorist and you're in our country, you're not here to pursue a better life for you.
1,000 deportations a day says it all. Holy shit.
Yeah, you're here to plot, plan, scheme the next attack on our homeland. And I lived through 9/11. I don't want to live through that again. I don't want to lose 2,977 Americans again.
Yep.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey.
I don't know about the bringing up 9/11. It's that was a little weird at the end, but yeah, if that's true, what you said about them actually making it increasing the penalties with the HR 749, that's kind of cool. I'm definitely for that.